Hey everyone, just want to do a quick video, quickish video of air pump that I'm currently using. It's the Alita Al15A. Let me go ahead and pull it out here before I talk about it at all. So, it doesn't seem too big here on the video. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. Let me scoot a little closer in here. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, this is the Alita Al15A air pump. I'm not gonna read out all the specs and stuff like that. Probably not here for that, and I'm not the most educated, literate, I don't know what you want to call it, on air pumps for aquariums or whatever you may be buying the air pump for. But I just want to do a review on how it's worked for me, tell you what I paid for it, stuff like that, what may help you. So I bought mine. I bought it from a mid-sized fish store that was online. I want to say they were either based out of the Midwest or East Coast. No, it's not too helpful, but they also had it on Amazon. It seems to go in and out of stock. The store that I bought it from online, they had it for right around the 105 mark, and I think over 100 you got free shipping. So I basically got it for about 105. Amazon, they had it at the time for around 130. I think currently it's about 120. So you can get it either or. It's not I mean, I guess it is a fairly big difference in price, about 15 to 25 bucks there. But yeah, overall, I mean, I'd say it's a pretty solid air pump. This shell is it's pretty nice. I guess it's a metal with a coating on there. Overall, it's warm to the touch, but it's not hot. It's got the rubber feet, which pretty much make it, I mean, as silent as it gets. But it's for what it is. I run right now. I'm running 16 10-gallon pump, 16 10-gallon aquariums, and this is the main manifold. And then it's just a temporary situation. I have another smaller manifold running off of one of the outlets, valves. I don't know what you want to call it, but so I have 16, but then I also have 17, 18. Technically, I have like 19 running because I have 16 aquariums, but then also a hatch breeder box. Then I also have a lot of little experiments running. I have two trying to grow plankton. It's not working out too well, but that's not what this video is about. Yeah, so I've got the pump. It's pretty solid for what it is, and then this is a 16 valve manifold, metal stainless steel manifold. The pump comes with the little plastic pieces here, not the tubing, but the plastic piece sticking out of the pump. It came with two pieces for two different sizes. The one I currently have it hooked up to, this is a 3/8 inch inner diameter tubing that hooks up to this valve. And I only went with that one because this manifold that I bought off Amazon, it was the only one I can find at the time, and it works perfect. It has a 3/8 inch diameter connector, so that just worked out. It comes with a 3/8, and I want to say maybe a 4th. I could be wrong on that. Check your description. You know, if you're really wanting to check everything and buy a whole bunch of stuff at the same time, you know, your manifold and your pump, or maybe you already have a manifold or whatnot. But I mean, manifolds, you can kind of daisy chain them and do different things. I've got a manifold here, but then another smaller manifold running off one of those, or you could wide out here and have two 16s, or whatever you want to do. I'm not one for technicalities or saying, you know, oh, I have this much per gallon per minute being pumped out to each aquarium or anything like that. I had two Eheim air pumps. I think an Eheim 100 and an Eheim 400. And I want to say the 400 was supplying air to 8 10 gallons. And it was definitely noticeably straining a little bit. I was seeing a little bit of, like, it wasn't the level of air I wanted to be pumping out. With this Alita, the Al15A, I did a lot of research. It seemed like this was. I'm pretty sure they had lower models, but this seemed kind of slightly a little more than overkill, and I wanted something that I could upgrade with. So I think with this pump, I have essentially I have it running 16 10-gallon aquariums. I think I could easily double that, and I could go to 32 10-gallon aquariums and still have plenty. I think I could do probably a little more than that at least. So this is definitely overkill. I just wanted it because like the Eheims, I want to say the Eheim 100 at the time, it's running like 35, 40 bucks, and the 400 is right around like 50 to 55, 60 bucks. So to upgrade to this, like I was gonna need more pumps, and to have one Eheim 400 running 8 10 gallons, and then buy a second one, I would be at $100 right there. So rather than pay an extra 50 bucks and then have $100 worth of pumps, I could just buy a $100 essentially pump, power all of them, do away with the Eheim. And for me, it's partly about electricity usage, but it's also about like plug usage. So I don't want to tie up too many plugs in my walls or in my circuit protector, surge protector. So it's about minimizing the amount of plugs I have, hopefully cutting down on electricity, and just having one source for all of my air. So for me, it's less to worry about, less to deal with. I find the trick to life is the acronym KISS, keep it simple, stupid. The less you have, the less you have to worry about, less problems. So for me, I just want to downsize, get one air pump. I can upgrade at the same time, so I can expand from this. I don't have to buy another, air pump or Eheim or anything like that. As far as the sound, I did notice some sound, some excess sound at first. I could hear it at night, but with that too, I have these 16 10 gallons, so I have bubbles. I can hear lots of bubbles, so that sort of started to overtake the sound, and I really can't hear it anymore. I don't know if it's just me or what, or if it quieted down, or who knows, maybe something broken there. I don't think it's that, but still pumping air, it does excellent. But I push it underneath, so any sound that it does make, it's not there for me. I'm not hearing. I can hear a little whisper now that I'm getting closer to it. I can hear a little bit of whisper in the air, but I think that's because it's producing way too much air than what I need. So there's air just escaping somewhere, which I know isn't good. But it is what it is. I've got a solid air pump pushing plenty of air to all of my aquariums. It's doing what I need. I had to upgrade anyway, so I went with this, and hopefully it'll last me. That's the plan. Get something quality. I had a lot of good reviews. It's what's known as a linear piston air pump, from my understanding, which it's basically I think it's oilless, requires no real maintenance or anything like that. Not like anyone's. I'm sure there's plenty of people that say, "Oh, I would repair it, fix it," but who's really doing that? So rather than go through any of the process, look for something that I could repair or anything like that, I wanted to go for something that was just quality, good bang for your buck, and I went with this one after doing a lot of research. Definitely thankful I didn't go with something higher, because I was considering something a little more than this. I think it was like maybe a 20 or like a 20 or 30. Definitely glad I didn't go with that, because in my mind I tend to go way overboard. And then I just have something like too much. So I went slightly over with this, but I'm very happy with it. But yeah, so it does come. One thing with these, so like I said, it came with 2 attachments. This is 3/8. I think it came with a 4th. Now I'd originally, this is the second one I bought. And the first one, you have to screw this air. I don't know what to call it. Inlet, outlet. You have to screw this in, where the connector, basically, for running air tubing out. You have to screw this plastic piece in. The original one I got, the hole to screw it in was too small, slightly too small. So I'm not wanting to complain. I was just going to try to see what I can do to just take care of it myself. I went to all the stores, the major hardware stores, the three biggest ones you could probably think of in the States, if you're in the States watching this. And I tried everything. I bought every little connector I could that was right around that size. Like, I measured it. I was doing everything I could. Nothing worked. I eventually started Googling it. I ran into a few people who had posted. I am totally blessed for places like just forums and Reddit and places where you have just actual text of people just typing out questions and answers, and I don't know where it'd be without that stuff. But there was some people talking about a problem where the actual hole in the air pump is drilled slightly too small. And so that was actually the problem that I ran into. The company, they had originally, I wrote them back and said, hey, these aren't fitting. Of course, the best thing for them is, for me, they responded back and said, hey, we're aware of the issue. The manufacturer is aware of the issue. If you want, you can go ahead and try to drill it slightly bigger. And for me, I mean, I'm paying $100. That, I mean, it's not thousands of dollars for me, but $100 is a lot. Ish for me. It's a decent chunk of change. It's like, why should I be doing work for something that I paid so that I wouldn't have to be doing this work? Like, I want a finished product, So I told them I didn't want to do that. They said, okay, fine, just send it back, whatever. And I did that, and they sent out a new one. So I'm pretty happy with that. Don't let that deter you. Just make sure you're buying it from a fairly reputable place, either be it Amazon or if you're buying from like a fish store. I like to look to see if they have a physical store, if it's like a place and it's not just some guy named Ted that's running it out of his basement. It's like, what's his return policy, Probably ain't one. Just disappear in the night and never get back to you. So just make sure it's a fairly reputable place. Yeah, they took it back. It's pretty solid situation. The cord, I want to say, is pretty long. Yeah, it's maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 feet ish. It's pretty thick cord too. From my understanding, it's a 15-watt pump. It's 15L for 15. Well, I guess that's not it. It is a 15-liter pump, so it pumps 15 liters per minute. Which, again, I'm not big on the technical details and all that stuff, but if you want to know that, that's what it does. Pretty solid. So I'm actually reading off their website. They have a 15, a 40, a 60, and an 80. I think I was probably going to go with a 40. Maybe that's just on the website I was looking at. Maybe they had a 30 or 20 or something. But they definitely have higher ones, and I'm pretty sure they have lower ones too. But they may go off a different name for the lower ones. I'm not sure. But yeah, that is pretty much everything I can think of. This is called a manifold for anyone wanting just some more information and stuff like that. I bought it off Amazon. It was $20 to like $22, somewhere in that range. These knobs, you can basically adjust the airflow. I wish there was something more solid. I actually have all of these set to about half flow, so I can actually turn them up to twice what they're going. But like I said, this air pump is overkill. If I turn them up to full blast, there are almost waves in the aquariums, like waves, like way too much action for me. Stuff starts swirling around in there. It's intense. So I have them set to half. And again, like I said, you can hear a little bit of excess air coming out of here. It's perfectly fine. It's not, over time it may degrade it, and that's, maybe hopefully years down the line, if anything. But my thought process being, I don't think it's anything to worry about. Now, if I just had like one aquarium hooked up to it doing that might be a problem, because you're putting all this air and limiting it to just one. But I have all of these. I'm pushing a lot of air out irregardless. I'm not just holding back a lot of air. I'm holding back a little air. So I think everything's good there. Manifolds are great. They're meant, you're meant to do stuff like this with this. And manifolds, you don't have to buy something stainless. There's plenty of DIY stuff. I think you can even make them out of like PVC pipe, and you can probably find videos for stuff like that. But I mean, I'm not a fish store. I'm not some massive operation or anything like that. I have 18 tanks. So this is what I've got. I do still have my Eheims running. I have one Eheim running a 30-gallon tank, and then I actually have 3 Eheims, 2 100s and 400. But I still have those. They're great little pumps. They're fairly quiet. I found the key to something quiet that helps is something that has rubber feet like this. Um, Something that has rubber feet. So definitely look for something like that. That seems to be a key thing there. Yeah, this thing, it's pretty solid. I definitely like it. I have no complaints about it. Works great, especially for the price. A lot of pumps got, like, I'm sure you can get the Tetra Whispers. I think that's what they call it. I've never had them, and a lot of people rave about them. I've seen them on sale as low as like $10, maybe even down to like $8. I haven't looked at the sales too much, but those seem like a decent deal if you're running just one or 2, 3, 4 aquariums. You just want to buy a few of those. $100 is a decent chunk, to invest. But if you definitely have that kind of aquarium itch or aquarium fever, and you're going to be upgrading, or you've already got a bunch and just want to consolidate down to one pump from a bunch of little Tetra Whispers or Eheims or whatever. Maybe you got some cheaper pumps off Amazon that are just some knockoffs. Just want to downgrade that. It's a solid pump. They've got some compliance stickers and whatever. If you care about any of that stuff, they seem like a pretty legit company. They're not just a fly-by-night company. I read a lot of reviews. I tend to do that, so I try to stick with solid products. I don't like wasting money on junk. I would rather waste money on too good of quality, and then I have something that I can't. I'd rather have something I'm not even in the hobby anymore, and it's so good it just outlasted everything. I'd rather have something like that than buy the same thing 20 times because it was junk every time, but I needed it, So it's like my lights. I want something that's solid. I don't want to just buy some cheap junky things and have to buy a new one every 6 months or a year or 2 years. I just want something that'll just last me forever. So I try to save money that way as opposed to just buying cheap stuff constantly, which I know not everyone can do, which is fine. This is how I tend to do things. So I'm just reviewing those things that I bought. I don't want you wasting money. So if you do, if you want to make that jump, I don't want that cheap shit anymore. This is solid. I would definitely recommend it. Total go. So if you guys don't mind, I know I haven't said it at any point on this video, but it goes a long way. If anyone wants to subscribe, or even if you just want to show some support, subscribe for a few days and then unsubscribe. I don't care. That's fine. But at the very least, if you don't mind liking, if you want to comment, just say, hey, I appreciate it. I tried to make videos on stuff that I don't see a lot of other videos on out there, or just trying to venture a little bit into just making reviews on stuff that I have. I'm not going out of my way. I have no sponsors or anything like that, so I'm not going out of my way to just review things. I'm just reviewing things that I personally have, and if I haven't, like I said, I've read a lot of reviews. It's usually pretty solid stuff, so if not, I say it in there, this is garbage, or whatever. But if you don't mind, at least, just at the very least, just leaving a like or even a dislike if you don't like it. I don't mind, but I'd like to, at some point, maybe I can make a few bucks, which will just help me out and get some new stuff in the hobby, new aquariums, new shrimp. Who knows what I might get into next, but fish, or who knows, lobsters or whatnot. Who knows? But point being, if I can, the more obviously likes and subscribers and all that stuff, maybe it can help me out in the hobby. So if you don't mind, go ahead and do that, and I'll leave you to it. Hope everyone stays safe out there, and take it easy. Don't stress yourself out there. Have a good one. Bye.